Hi friends, so we have been practicing several different strategies for three-digit subtraction. So today I want us to practice those strategies again, and then at the end I want you to reflect on which strategy felt the most efficient. So we're going to look at three different word problems, and for each one I'm going to tell you what type of strategy to use. For the first one, you can use any strategy you want, whatever strategy you feel comfortable with. For the second one, I'm going to ask you to use the expanded form strategy. And for the third one, I'm going to ask you to use the open number line strategy. So for each one, like our last video, I will put up my hands to pause for you to solve it on your own in your math journal, and then you can press play to see me solve it. So this is the first one where you can use any strategy to solve this. And it's a word problem, so I'll read it out loud. Rita and Rose were playing with the jump rope. Rita jumped 433 times in a row. Rose jumped 285 times in a row. How many more times did Rita jump than Rose? So go ahead and solve. Pause. All right, so this is the one where you could use any strategy that you like. So for me, the strategy that I prefer is the expanded form strategy. So I'm going to go ahead and do that one for this. And so I'm going to start by writing the equation we're going to solve. With a word problem, we always want to write an equation that matches the story for us to solve. So this is a how many more question. So that means we're trying to find how far apart are the number of times Rita jumped and the number of times Rose jumped. And we've said that we can write several different types of equations for these. It doesn't have to be subtraction. This could also be a missing part addition. So we could write it as 433 minus 285 equals something. But I could also write the inverse operation. Remember, the inverse is the opposite operation, which for subtraction is addition, but still looking for the same missing number. That's really important. We can't just change it and write like 433 plus 285, because that is not looking for the same missing number. So let me erase that. So the inverse would be looking at 433 minus 285. Well, I know that this is a part, and 433 is a whole. So I can do 285 plus something equals 433. And again, that is a part plus a part equals a whole. They're both looking for a missing part. So these are inverse operations. Now that's just the first part where I write the equation that matches the word problem, but we need to solve it. And since I wanted us to look at some subtraction equations and strategies, I'm going to use this 433 minus 285. And since I'm writing expanded form, I'll start with 433. I'll write it in expanded form, which is 400 plus 30 plus 3. And I'm going to write 285 in expanded form under it. It's 200 plus 80 plus 5. And we are subtracting, so I'll just put that there to remind myself. Remember, the plus signs are there just to remind you that in the end, we're going to put our hundreds, tens, and ones back together. So we always want to start with our ones so we can see if we need to regroup or not, like we practiced yesterday. So can I do 3 minus 5? Nope, can't take away a bigger number from a smaller number. So that means I'm going to need to come and regroup to get a 10 and exchange it for 10 ones. So if I'm regrouping a 10 from here, there will be 20 left. If I bring the 10 to my ones, this 3 will become a 13. Now I can take away the 5. So 13 minus 5 is 8. And I'm going to bring my plus sign down. Now I'm on my tens. Can I do 20 minus 80? Can't do it. Means I need to regroup again. So I'm going to come to my hundreds. I'm going to have to regroup my 100 to get more tens. So there's going to be 300 left. This 20 is going to become 120. Now I can do 120 minus 80. So we can do that by going 80, 90, 100, 110, 120. That's 4 tens. The value of 4 tenths is 40, so 120 minus 80 is 40. Bring down my other plus sign. 300 minus 200 is 100. I'm going to put my hundreds, tens, and ones back together to see that my final answer is 148. And this was a word problem, so we want to include our units. And the units here seem to be the number of times they jumped, so I could just write, maybe I'll write it up here, 148 times, right? So you use your own strategy for this one, so you can just look and see if your answer matched. And that's what we've talked about is the benefit of knowing more than one strategy is that you're able to check your work by using another strategy or using the inverse operation. So for this next word problem, I want us all to use the expanded form strategy just to practice it and again to see if maybe that is a more efficient strategy, and then we'll try one more after this. I was making a colorful bracelet. I have 328 beads in my bag. If I used 59 beads to make my bracelet, how many beads do I have left? So you're going to solve this using expanded form now. Pause. All right, so again, I'm going to write both the numbers in expanded form. Oh, wait, got to write my equation first. Almost forgot. Very important. So again, we could have more than one equation for this. Let's go ahead and write 2 just so we practice that as well. So I had 328 beads. I used 59, so I could just take that away to find how many I have left. But I could write it in another way by making it a missing part addition equation. So the inverse operation would be 59 plus something equals 328. And that will still be looking for a missing part. So now we've written 2 equations that we could use to solve this word problem, but we are practicing subtraction, so I'm just going to erase the addition one so we can practice. And you guys already solved it on your own, and we're going to use expanded form. So we're going to write 328 in expanded form. That's 300 plus 20 plus 8. And now we're going to do 59, and we talked about this yesterday. When we're subtracting a 2-digit number from a 3-digit number, it's really important that we line up our 10s and our 1s. Because if I write my 50 here, then it's not going to be lined up with the 10s and 328. So we want to write the 50 over here plus 9, that's 59 in expanded form. We're subtracting, so I'll put that subtraction sign. We want to start with our 1s, so we're going to see 8 minus 9. Can we do that? No, we've got to regroup. So we're going to come here to our 10s, and we're going to take a 10, so 10 will be left, and regroup it to our 1s, so that 8 is going to become 18. So we already have 8 1s, we're getting 10 more 1s. So now we can do 18 minus 9, and that's a double, so I know 9 plus 9 is 18, so 18 minus 9 must be 9. Bring down my plus sign. 10 minus 5, can I do it? No, got to regroup again. So going to come to my hundreds, get 100, so there will be 200 left. Regroup that 100 here. Since I already have a 10, this is not going to become 100, it's going to become 110. So now I can do 110 minus 50. I can use the same strategy as before and count on from 50. You might have a different strategy. Oh, like a different strategy I'm thinking of is that if I'm at 50, I know 50 plus 50 is 100. I need 10 more to make 110, so it must be 60. Because 50 plus 60 is 110. So whatever strategy you use for that works. And now I just have to bring down my 200 since I have no hundreds to take away. Going to put my 100 cents and 1s together, and our answer is 269. So since you were both using expanded form strategy, take a look at your work and compare it to my work and see if they match. And if they don't, see where you might have made a mistake. Was it maybe with regrouping? And if it looks the same, awesome, we can keep going. Let's just make sure we add our units. We were talking about beads here. So this is 269 beads. So you can go ahead and think as I bring up our next word problem, how did that strategy feel compared to your last one? If you use a different strategy, if they were the same, well, then you got to use the same strategy. And for the last word problem, we're going to use the open number line strategy. And for the open number line, that is one that we want to always count on. It's a lot easier to count on using a number line than count back. So if we have a subtraction equation that we want to use the open number line for, I always recommend writing the inverse operation so you have a missing part addition equation and then using the open number line. So this word problem is Daisy made bows to sell at the store. She made 645 bows. She sold 499 bows. how many bows are left. So for this one, I want you to use the open number line strategy. And to do that, you're first going to need to write an equation that matches this word problem, but it has to be a missing part addition equation for you to use that open number line. So go ahead and do that now. Pause. All right, and now we'll do it together. So my first thought is, she starts out with 645 bows and she sold 499. This is the first equation that comes to mind. But we said for the open number line, we want to rewrite it the inverse operation to have a missing part addition. So since I know we're looking for a missing part, and this is also a part, I can write 499 plus something equals 645. So we're going to use this one for the open number line. So I'm going to just move it up and erase. So I'm going to write it up here because we need some space. Plus something equals 645. And then I'm going to draw a number line. So we know we're going to start at 499 and we're trying to get to 645. So I think this equation is a really good one for the open number line strategy because 499 is so close to the next 100. We just need to add 1 to get to 500. And then from there, we can think, okay, where am I trying to get? To 645. If I just jump 100, I'll already be there. And then now when you get to 645, all I have left is 45 to jump. And then I've got to put these all together. So that's 100 plus 45 plus 1. I know 1 plus 45 is 46. So add 100, it's 146. Again, I want to use units, so it's 146 bows. All right, friends, now that we just did 3 strategies, I want you to think in your head about these strategies, look at your work, and think about which one felt the most efficient to you, which one felt also, and we might have different answers. Which one do you feel like you can do the quickest and make the least number of mistakes? Because sometimes we have a strategy that can work really well in our head. Like it's something that it makes sense to us, but it may not be as organized on paper. And we've talked about as the numbers get bigger, as you move on to 3rd grade, 4th grade, you have to do decimals. You just want to make sure you have a strategy that's really organized and is going to be efficient.